Boys, girls, and MBs of all shapes, sizes, colors, and orientations, welcome to the one and only Alec Gunter stream. My name is Alec Gunter. I'm a little shaken today. I'm a little frazzled, okay? It's very orange. Hold on. It's too orange. I didn't realize how orange this lighting was. Why is it so orange? It should not be this orange. No, that's too bright. Hold on. I think it's because it's still bright outside. Whatever, this is fine. If I had a legitimate studio, I could just have the same lighting all the time. But alas, we work with what we got. I work from my living room. Whatever. I'm a little fragile today. Some crazy stuff happened. Unfortunately, my audio recording was ass. Alas, I cannot. I mean, you can look and you can probably glean what people were saying from it, but like, I'll give you a little. Actually, we'll go over it later. We'll go over it in a second. I'm gonna make a whole segment. But yeah, I went to the Northeast Women's Republican Convention today, or not convention. It was like a bi-monthly meeting, and anyway, I'll talk about it. How's everybody else doing today? This is my first stream. Well, this is a very special moment for you then, because I don't usually do stuff like this. Welcome. I'm gonna try to do stuff like this more IRL stuff. Try to fucking hit these cockroaches where they live, you know? They cannot get comfortable. You cannot let these people be comfortable. They're getting real cozy. I don't think I've seen you live before. We have a lot of people here. We have more than we usually have, which is about as many as we had on Sunday night, which was also more than we usually have. It's a good sign. I'm thinking about taking up Twitch again. I do want to start getting my name out there again, pumping out some more juicy content for you guys. I think now more than ever, it's really important that leftist content creators of all stripes, you know, boot up and get active. So, you know, and also on top, like on that note, if you yourself are a smaller content creator lefty, I'm more than happy to shill you. Just DM me. We'll set up a time and see what we can do for you. I will say I don't have like an enormous reach. Most people who utilize me as a platform for themselves don't get a ton of attention, but it's better than nothing. Some people are fine with being a small channel guitar rocker. Imagine setting up a whole convention to talk about taking away your own rights. True. I mean, I don't know what the point of calling it the Women's Republican Convention is. It's like, okay, I guess like the organization is run by women, but like they still have men there. Like, I guess, okay, I don't have a problem with them letting men in. Technically, it's women who run it, but I feel like, you know, they're just being pulled by the strings of the male politicians above them. I'm a smaller lefty YouTuber, but I have only now started making political content. Very nice. You want to have a take a look? It's okay if you don't want me to.
Okay.
The self-deprivation convention is so legit and normal, definitely. Yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna go over it, and I'm basically just gonna narrate it because, like I said, the audio is ass. You'll see what I mean. This is worth going over. Do you have Jackbox Party? And if you do, have you considered hosting games in your server ever? Not me personally, but I do. Well, I do have it. I have a couple of the games. I think 3 and 7. I have not thought about hosting a Jackbox Party, no. But I have done movie night a few times. The problem is, like, right now I'm just in the middle of so many different things. So I haven't done movie night in a while. And right now I'm really trying to, like, reach my feelers out there. And, oh yeah, I saw this guitar rocker. Yeah, I guess this is worth going over. We can make a really short segment on it. I might make a video about my problems with Trump because I never expected Trump to be this freaking bad. I don't think anybody was expecting it to get this bad this quickly. I think we were expecting it to be bad, and there was like not a upper limit to our expectations of how bad it was going to be. But I don't think that people thought that it would get this bad this quickly. Like, it's really bad. I'm trying to open Aaron Reed's Substack. Do I really need the app on my fucking phone? Maybe I'll just look at her. Oh, here we go. Here we go, okay. Never mind. I voted for Kamala, good. I mean, listen, at this point, it's a moot point. Like, if you didn't vote for Kamala, I still think you were wrong, but I'm so over arguing about it. Like, it's over, it's done. It's not even your fault. Like, it is what it is. Kamala did not motivate her base enough, and she lost. So, regardless of whether or not you voted for her, at this point, it's a moot point. Whatever. I'm willing to let it go. I mean, it's much better than these fucking liberals on Twitter who cannot shut the fuck up about it. They just keep on grinding and grinding and grinding. Well, you didn't vote for her. Well, maybe if the progressive left had it was not the progressive left's fault, dumbass, dumb shit, fucktard. Like, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that word, but like, like, it's bad. It's really bad. I thought turd, and then it switched to sorry. That's my bad. But anyway, naughty words, sorry. Sometimes the gamer slips out. There's a little gamer in all of us. Yeah, her own fault for touring with the Cheneys. What a great move on her part. Touring with the fucking Cheneys. Very nice. So yeah. I'm over it. I'm sorry. Like, yeah, there were people who didn't vote for her who should have. Great. What now? Are we just gonna keep on, like, pestering them about that? What does that accomplish? How about you motherfuckers get up and do something? You know? Like, anything. Like, literally, we're gonna go over how easy it is to look up these local Republican meetings and just go. And just stir up shit. Peacefully. By asking questions. We're just asking questions, boys, girls, and MVs. We're just asking questions. Go in peace and love and support for everything that is not their ideals. and just question them. Yeah, in the U.S. I should specify in the U.S., yes. But it might be... I don't know what it's like in other countries. I don't. So, like, it might be easier there, too. What about I'm afraid of getting bashed? Good point. Probably better to go in a group, especially if you're not me, because I am a large boy, and large boys usually have, that just a natural social shield around them. It is called male privilege. Specifically white male privilege, by many people. I think the word privilege is a little oversimplified, but I'm willing to accept it. Anyway, like, I'm not in physical fear for my life, as it were. The guy did put his hand on me today, but it's like, I could have snapped him in fucking half. So, whatever. Okay. Enough dicking around, let's go over it. I'm already late. No, I don't have it pulled up, hold on. Yeah, the Arceus rays from the windows. I had to close the door because daylight savings, It's 7 p.m. It should not be this bright. Disgusting. So, today, I did a thing. In real life, I touched grass. That's right. I touched grass specifically on the other side of the political aisle, that is. What I'm referring to is the Northeast Women's Republican Club, something gathering, I forget. Northeast Women Republican thing in Ohio. And I saw a couple days ago that they were having a meeting today at 11 a.m. And it was a $30 entry fee for like lunch and stuff, and I wasn't about to pay that, so I just kind of walked up to the door and was like, okay, whatever happens, happens. If they turn me away at the door, then I try, right? So anyway, I get to the door, and I decided I wanted to go and just kind of interview people, right? That was my purpose, is just go and interview people and kind of get their perspective on things. And unfortunately, here's how the audio turned out.
Let's make Ohio the best place in the country to live.
Oh, really? Okay.
Years ago, Ohio had like 20.
I guess it's not like as bad as I remember, but it's kind of dog shit. So I'm not going to go through the whole thing. And what I was going to do, my plan was to send all of this footage to Dubsy and like let them make a compilation out of it, like a nice production out of it. But the audio is just so dog shit that like I don't really want to do that anymore. So instead, what I'm going to do is I've decided I am going to release this on an unlisted YouTube link. This is why you get a directional mic. Listen, I got some cheap mics from Best Buy. I thought they worked well. They did not. So I would have been better off just using my phone flat. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through this. I'll try to listen to some part. Like, it gets really bad at some parts. So I'll try to listen to some parts because there was some really funny and revealing conversation that I had. But the first thing, like I said, I'll put the whole thing in an unlisted YouTube link for you guys to watch. If there are any audio editors out there who want to try to work with this and make something useful out of it, be my guest. You can upload it to your own channel. You can message me and shill it, whatever. It doesn't matter. But if anybody can make this better than what it is, feel free. Seriously. Anyway. Here's this. So this guy actually was very nice. I liked him a lot. I liked his vibe. He was a great guy. Well, just, from talking to him, he's a sweet old man, right? And he's really about Vivek Ramaswamy. I didn't really pull his leg too much. I didn't really converse with him that much. So I just talked to him a little bit about Vivek, and then he went back inside. I'm kind of, just to give you an idea, I'm kind of hanging out in the corner here. And, just like people are kind of coming up to me and like asking, about me and what I'm doing here. And I explain it to them, tell them I'm a YouTuber. I told them my name. I'm Alec Gunter on YouTube. My guess is that at some point somebody actually looked me up and kicked me out. So anyway, this nice lady comes over. It wasn't a very interesting conversation with her. You can barely understand it. So she's saying that trans people should wait until they're 25 to do anything. I then asked about, well, what about alcohol? We allow alcohol at 21. And then she immediately backpedaled and was like, well, maybe 21, sometime between 21 and 25. So I don't hate her as much as I hate the next guy. But you can tell that like she's got some pretty, flip-floppy positions on trans people and hasn't really thought about it that much. As you can see here, I'm just trying to find a place to set up. I asked the people at the table where I can set up, and they're like, well, we have to ask our leader or whatever. And I never really got a stand set up, so I just did first-person interviews. So here's this guy, and he's my favorite because he was kind of a soft-spoken gentleman, but he had some strong opinions about trans people, and we'll see if we can glean anything out of this shit audio. Oh yeah, he's talking about women's roles. I got him to say that like there's that like women have like natural roles in society, you know, like that kind of shit, like fundamentalism.
Okay, world ideology. So when you say that, can you give me like an example of something that you got to be able
I just can't believe how dog shit it is. I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
how the natural order thing.
Natural order, there it is. I just didn't get the mic close enough.
And I don't think it reinforces your natural strength to start using a different pronoun. Put a pronoun behind their name. The person's name is their name. I'll accept their name for what it is.
Okay. So this is what I'm saying.
Things like with strunk and white, grammar rules, which is very
Well, I don't know why it's picking up the rubbing so much. Like I think that it was like trying to detect audio from the thing I had plugged in. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know. This is why I can't do anything with it. I'm just trying to show you, I'm trying to narrate this as best I can and show you guys that I actually did go and try to make something out of this, but alas, you know, shit happens. This is my first attempt. We'll make it happen next time. I am going to something else tomorrow. I'll talk about that in a second.
So here at the Women's Republican meeting framework, enjoy meeting.
So I guess let's talk about transition. So you mentioned women's roles in society. So
Women's roles in society.
being a kind of a problem with that, or
I think so.
okay, how do you
Roles and boundaries are put to a test that no one is ready for, and I don't think.
All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. We're talking about women.
Don't know if that was taking action at all.
no action at all?
Okay, so I asked him, right? This is when I asked him, okay, let's say that you see somebody who, so I asked him if like, you know, about trans people in bathrooms, right? Like, should trans women be allowed to use the restroom? He said no. So I said, okay, let me propose to you a scenario. Say that you see somebody going into the women's restroom. You think that they're not a woman. What is your next course of action?
Myself, what is going on?
He said I would do nothing.
I don't know if that was taking action at all.
No action at all?
No action at all.
Okay. What do you think about trans women in sports?
Trans women in sports.
I think that changes the definition of sports altogether in terms of
Changes the definition.
going to compete against who. And if somebody wants to establish a category that's the trans category itself, I think that would
So he wants to establish a separate trans category.
Do you know how many trans athletes there are?
Ask him how many there are.
don't seem to think that there are many.
I said there are fewer than 10 after this.
There are 10 or few in college.
Let me skip ahead a little bit.
Well, the reason is again is that trans women, you know, they do live in the
I'm explaining the process of estrogenization for trans women over about a 2-year period. They found that, are you ever going to upload your debate with that one white nationalist? Which one? The Crypto Bro one? Yes, Dubsy is going to get that up soon, okay? Get on it, Dubsy. Anyway, so what he's talking about, what we're talking about right now is I'm explaining like over a 2-year period, estrogen actually levels out any differences between trans and, I didn't say cis women, I said trans women and their counterparts, just because I didn't want to raise any red flags, right? You got to be very careful with their very soft, pudgy exteriors.
All sports more or less are some kind of physical activity, right? Now, everybody's body is defined by their genetics, established genetics.
Oh, this is the part where I say that. Sorry, I don't know what it was before, but this is the part where I say what I just said.
There are a lot of things in this world with hormones that are dangerous, whether it's for gender or
So I asked him if he thinks that so he inclined that hormone treatments are dangerous. I said, do you think it's dangerous? He said, there are lots of things that are dangerous. I said, okay, well, you think that if a doctor prescribes these treatments that it's still dangerous? And he said, well, I mean, just because a doctor does it doesn't mean it can't be dangerous. And I said, do you trust doctors? Yeah.
Doctors can be good or bad. You trust doctors? What's your agenda on this?
He says, what's your agenda on this? This is the part where he catches on, right? He's like, okay, something's up here. Something's fishy. I said, I'm just asking questions. He said, I don't like your questions. I said, I didn't mean to offend you. Well, I told them who I was. I told them I'm a political YouTuber, but I did not incline that I am like a leftist or progressive or anything like that. God. So I asked him about his biggest issue in schools, lack of classroom education. He said that like they're basically like, oh, math, science, we need to teach that better. I'm like, you don't think they're teaching it anymore? He says, well, I think they still are. He has no actual positions on anything is the point. I think I asked him a little bit about pronouns. I will bet dollars to donuts this is the guy that snitched on me, by the way. And then he leaves. Oh yeah, there was some point in there, whoever wants to can go back and review this, but there was some point in there where I like basically got him to say, I've never really looked into this for myself. And I said, oh, you've never looked into it for yourself, but you have opinions on it? Like, dude, come on. Anyway, the next lady, this one was not that interesting, to be honest. I kind of let her ramble a little bit. I was being very softball. I was being extraordinarily softball, especially with her. So there's really not a whole lot to see here. I just kind of let her ramble. And then what happens is this lovely fellow comes over.
How do you feel about like
I'm doing fine. You want to?
And he interrupts us.
I wanted to ask you for partner contact.
I forget what he's saying. It doesn't matter. He's just trying to get her off of me.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I think I'm done because I gotta get back in there for the meeting to start.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
And then he leads me to the door. So what's so funny, right, is this guy comes back. This guy's trying to escort me out, right? What's his name again? Hold on. I have a picture. My policy, obviously, is don't harass, don't stalk. If I hear about any of that happening, you're banned permanently, period, end of story. But this is the guy. His name is Standish Fortin, and he is a financial consultant. So, you know, nice cushy job, and also Republican. Very nice stuff. And what he decided to do was try to escort me out. Now, he has no actual jurisdiction in the Women's Republican Club here, but he just took it upon himself to be the big, strong man and escort me out himself. So let's go back to the video, see what's going on. This guy comes over while he's trying to escort me out and says, we're about to get started. Do you want to come in? And I said I would love to.
What? No, why not? What? Is there a problem? It's your place to do that. It's my
So it's not your place to do that. He said he would go and ask the leader.
You can wait outside.
I was going to wait outside.
Right here? Now. Why's that? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Last chance. I'm so sorry, sir. If I did something wrong, please tell me. Get out.
Puts his hand on me right here. This is where he puts his hand on me, by the way. He put his hand on my shoulder, tried to shove me out the door.
You're going. Time to go? Get out.
And now he's calling the police. Call the police! No! No! We're being harassed! No! They're asking us questions that make us uncomfortable! No! No! no, please, please, no. And yeah, that's about it. So that summarizes what happened today at the Northeastern Women's Republican Convention Club, whatever it's called. So much for free speech, right? Anyway, this was something that was very easy for me to find via Google search. Republican organizations exist all over the country. I recommend that you look up your local ones and just go and check them out, see what they're all about. They have events going on. They usually have guest speakers. I'm going to another one tomorrow, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to another one tomorrow. There's going to be a guest speaker there. I don't want to say who because I don't want to raise any red flags that, my guess is that he looked me up, found out who because I was saying my name is Alec Gunter. My guess is that he looked me up, found out who I am, and said, "Oh fuck no," and then kicked me out. I could be wrong, but who knows? Anyway, he kicked me out for essentially doing nothing but standing in the corner and asking questions. And tomorrow I'll be going to another event where a radio speaker, a conservative radio host, will be giving some kind of presentation or speech or something. And he will take questions afterwards. So I have a very lovely question planned out for this man, and we'll see how he responds. But like I said, that's about it. If you are looking to get active in unconventional ways, I think it's great to make these. Now, be safe about it, okay? Because you don't fucking know what these people are capable of. And like I said, do not go there and cause violence. Do not go there and disturb anything, out of, don't be reasonable. All I did was go there and ask questions. All I did was go there and ask some people some questions. That's all I did. Okay. And then they kicked me out. Okay. If you can demonstrate that you did not do anything wrong whatsoever, and then they kick you out, that's great for you. That's content. Okay. Just post it and say, look, they kicked me out for doing nothing. All I did was ask questions. It's great. If you cause violence, if you cause purposeful disruptions, if you make a scene out of it, don't wear shirts like this, praying for all you hoes. Bad idea. But just be inconspicuous and then ask people some questions and raise some, rile up some feathers. I highly recommend you guys do that. I think the Republicans are getting far too comfortable right now, especially considering they're not doing any more town halls, which is disgusting to me. So we might as well just meet them where they're at, right? Go stir up the cockroach nest and have fun, guys. Yeah, he got real angry. Yeah, and I'm sorry about the audio. I really wish that it were better. Like I said, if you want to see the whole thing, I'll upload the entire thing unedited to YouTube as an unlisted video. And you can go over it yourself, see what else you can glean from it, improve the audio if you're one of those people, whatever you want to do. I personally can't do that stuff in Texas. I'd rather be safe. I'll just wait until I get hired for a job somewhere. Yeah, I should have also mentioned, it's better to go in a group, right? Be safe, be safe. But if you're feeling, antsy, I think this is fine. This is like shit that Walter Masterson does, They do. They need their safe spaces. They need their safe spaces. Oh no. Oh no. Bring like 4 homies and start a discussion, which you then win. Yeah. That old guy was so funny. He came over, I made it so awkward. He was like, "Do you want to come in and watch?" I was like, "Oh, sure, that'd be great." And then this other guy had to be the buzzkill, you know what I mean? Buzz Killington over here. I've had some people tell me to press charges against him for putting his hands on me. And I have two responses to that. One, the video did not capture him actually putting his hands on me. Two, I have three responses. Two, he immediately let off. And three, I am not about to go up against his fucking daddy's money. Okay, I'm not doing that. I don't have the time, the money, or the interest. That would serve me in no way at all. I do hope to go to a DSA meeting. Yeah, for sure. DSA is great. I just think that, like, Republicans should be made uncomfortable. I have a strong opinion that, like, you can do your activism, you can do your protests, and they're great. And that's a different way, that's a different form of activism, and I'm not dogging on that. What I do think, though, is that Republicans need to be met in their own goddamn home as long as they keep them open to the public. If they're open to the public and you can walk in, just go and you know, make them uncomfortable within reason, right? And then force them to kind of shut it down. What's the for, Grade the Deer? Did I do something wrong? Too bad him touching you wasn't in the footage. Suing him and using the money to donate to the Trevor Project would be really funny. That would have been hilarious. He's really easy to find, by the way. Like, I'm not saying you should. I'm not condoning it, but, like, he's really easy to find. Okay. Let's move right along. I don't really know. I don't have a segment planned out for this. Yeah, don't stalk him. I'm fine calling him out, but don't stalk him. Standish is, in fact, a very Caucasian name. I thought that it didn't get worse than Keith or Aiden, but apparently Standish exists. So, there's that. Okay, what's this guy's name? Mahmoud Khalil. Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah, Mahmoud Khalil. Yeah.
Wealth, fame, power.
Just talk about earthworms. You never need to make those into segments.
Good point. Maybe I should just talk about earthworms. Thank you very much for the 5 tier 1 gifted sub socket, Tanuki. Appreciate you, as always. Is there just a video of what he said or what he did? Do this video. We'll do the Fox News coverage. Okay, I think I got enough here. Have you watched any more Lost? No. It's not at the top of my list, I'll be honest. Free speech. It's a freedom that we Americans enjoy for the most part. Unless you're this guy. His name is Mahmoud Khalil. He is a pro-Palestinian activist. I forget what university he's from. I don't know much about him. I am kind of winging this segment, to be honest with you. But I pulled up a couple of links. I heard this was a big problem. And it is indeed a big problem because from what I've heard, all this guy was doing was protesting the Palestinian genocide and was detained. He was basically disappeared overnight from his, I believe, 6 months pregnant 6 months pregnant wife or 8 months pregnant, something like that. Completely just disappeared. Nobody knew where he was. And then he showed up at some kind of detention center or something. I could be getting the facts wrong on that. Don't mark me on that. But that's what this is for. So we're going to learn together from the New York Post. Who is Mahmoud Khalil, the Palestinian Columbia activist arrested by ICE?
It's not a matter of simply violating university rules. This is a movement, an anti-war movement.
Agents from President Donald Trump's administration have arrested Palestinian graduate student Mahmoud Khalil.
And he, by the way, is here on a green card. I don't know if they'll mention that, but he's here on a green card, which means he is a legal permanent resident of the United States, and they are deporting him for exercising his free speech, which is a right granted to him and protected under the First Amendment.
Who played a prominent role in last year's pro-Palestinian protests at New York's Columbia University. That's according to a statement released by the Student Workers Labor Union, which added that Khalil was arrested by U.S. Department of Homeland Security agents at his university residence on Saturday. Khalil has been one of the lead negotiators with school administrators on behalf of the pro-Palestinian student protesters. His detention appears to be
this looks awful. Look at these brutal and violent protesters, man.
The first efforts by Trump to fulfill his promise to seek the deportation of some foreign students involved in the pro-Palestinian protest movement against Israel's war in Gaza that swept college campuses last spring. A spokesperson for Columbia said the school...
Are they trying to deport people with green cards? They'll try to deport anybody who doesn't fucking agree with them. It starts with people with green cards, and then it moves to citizens.
...was barred by law from sharing information about individual students. Spokespeople for Trump, DHS, and the Department of State did not respond to questions. It was not immediately clear on what grounds DHS agents arrested Khalil. Khalil's arrest comes on the heels of the Trump administration canceling government contracts and grants awarded to Columbia University worth about $400 million. The government said the cuts in the student deportation efforts are because of anti-Semitic harassment at and near Columbia's Manhattan campus. In response, Columbia's interim president said the school was committed to combating anti-Semitism and was working with the federal government to address their legitimate...
That's crazy. The school's response, right? No defense whatsoever. What a limp dick fucking move, man. Crazy. Well, we're working to combat anti-Semitism. Fuck you, okay? This is like this particular, like anti-Semitism is a problem, but this particular case has nothing to do with anti-Semitism. And anti-Semitism has been, the moniker of it has been taken over by people who just want Israel to raise over Palestine. They call anything that's not supporting their movement anti-Semitism, which, by the way, is kind of anti-Semitic. Okay, because not all Jewish people believe that Israel should, not all Jews are Zionists. Not all Jews are Zionists, okay? And the thought that and belief that they are is anti-Semitic, unironically. Give me just a second. Forgot to pull some up. Okay, so here is the response from Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, about why Mahmoud Khalil You know, what Mahmoud Khalil did to warrant his arrest.
In your estimation, what crime did Mahmoud Khalil commit to warrant his arrest, detention, and the potential revocation of his green card?
Let me tell you something. I went face down the angry mob at Columbia at the height of that stuff.
So we're already avoiding the question. Very good.
When the pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas protesters were there. I'm telling you, this is my own observation, not something I read in the newspaper. It was dangerous.
I feel like I don't need to point this out to my audience, but pro-Hamas and pro-Palestine are not one and the same. Thank you for that conflation.
I met with Jewish students before we went to campus who were holed away off campus because they were instructed by the administration not to come to class, which they paid for.
Appealing to anti-Semitism again. Very good.
For fear of their physical safety. The administrators there refused to take control of that campus. They refused to allow the PD to come, the police department to come in and take control, and it turned into a chaos. The president
they weren't doing anything wrong.
Been removed.
What chaos? What chaos? What specifically? They're asking about specifics, man.
Now they got the same problem again. Columbia and other universities, they have to keep control of campus. The first responsibility of an administration is ensuring the safety of the students who are paying tuition to be there, for crying out loud. This madness has to stop. We have to get control of it. This guy.
If this reporter had, like, by the way, I understand that, like, reporters have very difficult jobs, and this was a very good question from this reporter, but, like, if I were this reporter, I would try to demand, like, something specific, you know? Like, anything specific that this person did. Like, just name it. Name the crime. Speaking.
Apparently was a mastermind of those very things, when the gnashing of teeth and the ripping of clothes and the people screaming at me, wanting to rip me limb from limb because I was there talking about moral clarity and how there's a right.
Did you get hurt? I don't think you got hurt, man. Did the words hurt? Huh? Did the words injure your fragile soy body? Okay? No, I don't think they did. Shut up.
Wrong. They were doing that. They disrupted the campus. They were threatening physical violence to their fellow students.
No, they're not. If you're prove it. That's an actual crime. If you can prove threats of physical violence to other students, that is a crime. Prove that he threatened physical violence to other people. Prove that. Otherwise, that's a lie.
You're on a student visa. I'm going to say this clearly. If you are on a student visa and you're in America and you're an aspiring young terrorist.
Didn't he have a green card? Is he on a student visa? I thought he had a green card. Right? Like he's a permanent resident. Hold on. Yeah, he has a green card. Yeah, that's different. A student visa is a temporary residency, which, by the way, still protects you, okay, in the United States. You still have rights while you're here on a visa. So it's not like it makes it that much different, but the fact that we're conflating those two is just means he doesn't know shit about what he's talking about.
Who wants to prey upon your Jewish classmates, you're going home. We're going to arrest your tail, and we're going to send you home where you belong. And this is just getting started. So, look, I appreciate free speech. I used to defend it in courts, but this is far beyond the pale of that. When you were threatening your classmates and spewing anti-Semitism and all this hatred, it's enough.
Show me the be specific. What did he say? Be specific. You have not been specific once. I hate these media-trained fucking ghouls, man. They'll slither their way out of any talking point because, like, that's just what they do. Conservatives just lie. They just lie. They slither their way out of taking accountability for anything that they've done, for, answering to anything. Like, it sucks. It just sucks that these people rule us now. It's the worst.
And I think the American people understand that. They're supporting it. And I'm glad we have a president who's strong enough to lay down the law. Thanks a lot.
New sheriff in town.
Yeah, good job, man. The Democrats are let me pull this up too, because I didn't pull this up, but this is important to point out. I thought the Democrats said something about his deportation. Here we go. There it is. This is the tweet I was looking for. From the Senate Judiciary Democrats, free Mahmoud Khalil. There's not much, but hey, it's better than what we usually get from them, which is raging Zionism. It's not Zionism, at least. You know, at least we're protecting and defending free speech. You know, that's nice. I mean, it's the bare minimum, but it's better than what they've been doing, which is butt fuck nothing. So whatever, I'll take it. This is good. I'm glad that the Democrats are pushing back against this. I hope they do it more. What else do I got? One more thing. The Fox News coverage. I guess they have an entire quote here. I'm not going to read through all of it. Let's take a look at what they have to say about this.
Mahmoud.
And Fox News, famous for, you know, for keeping it fair and balanced and protecting free speech.
Agents arresting protest leader Mahmoud.
These people claim to be against about anti-Semitism, but let Tucker Carlson spread white genocide on national TV for over a decade. That's very true. Thank you very much, Jay, for the $5. Appreciate you. Yeah, they don't give a shit. This is all just bread and circus for
Khalil,
them.
his attorney, says the administration is moving to cancel his green card. Maya Sulkin is a Columbia graduate. She is a reporter and assistant editor for the Free Press, and so good to see you in person. His attorney says ISIS arrest and detention of Mahmoud follows the U.S. government's open repression of student activism and political speech, specifically targeting students at Columbia for criticism of Israel's assault on Gaza. Now, that's his attorney. How do you see it?
Thank you so much for having me. Listen, this is someone who has been the engine behind so much of the violence that we have seen.
Like what? Like what?
On campus since October 7th. And so no one is telling Khalil and students like him that they cannot peacefully protest or even say things that we disagree with. But what is happening is violence. It is harassment. It is trespassing. It is causing thousands of dollars in property damage and sending public safety officers to the hospital. So we are not talking.
Sending public, dude, they send their fucking selves to the hospitals. They're way more likely to hurt themselves than they are to hurt other people. What?
Talking about free speech anymore. We are talking about crimes.
You graduated from Columbia, so you're very familiar with
no
this.
Specific crimes.
There is the Columbia Jewish Alumni Association said every American citizen should be concerned when students are encouraging terrorist activities on U.S. soil.
They're not they're protests.
Was he encouraging terrorist activity? Or was he just protesting Israel?
I mean, listen.
Free speech is terrorism now. Don't do free speech. If you speak out against Israel, I guess you're a terrorist now.
In Milbank Hall just a few days ago, and in Milstein Library, 3 days ago, he was handing out flyers from the Hamas media outlet, which is not an exaggeration. Literally, the Hamas.
Okay, let's take a look. Let's fact check this. Mahmoud Khalil flyers. Let's take a look and see if we can find pro-Hamas propaganda flyers. Is this it? 1 of 10, 2 of 10. Here, I think we found the flyers in question. Our narrative, Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. Hamas Media Office. Was he actually handing this out? Even if he was, by the way, it's still free speech. Allegedly distributed. Okay, so this is not confirmed that he distributed this one. This is just alleged. A flyer threatening to crush Zionism. Also free speech, also based. One of the posters featuring an image of Yahya Sinwar. Sometimes history needs a push. Flood. Did he hand this out? One of the posters. Who's Yahya Sinwar? A Palestinian militant and politician who served as chairman of the Hamas Political Bureau from August 2024. Was he handing out Hamas flyers? Again, even if he was, that still is free speech. He shouldn't be fucking deported for it. If anybody in the comments can correct me on these flyers, I'd really appreciate it. I need some fact checking on this. Let me see something. I don't know if I trust the New York Post with this. Mahmoud Khalil flyers. Give me a second. Reuters? Leavitt said flyers with Hamas's logo were distributed at group protests. She said Khalil had organized but did not accuse him of distributing the flyers himself. Leavitt did not present evidence of Khalil's involvement. So we don't even know if he handed out the fucking flyers or was involved at all. That's great, man. We're just running with that narrative, though. Good stuff.
Logo on these flyers. Wow. I mean, these are people that call October 7th a glorious day. They are carrying Hamas flags. If that is not espousing terrorist activity, I really do not know.
It's Palestinian flags. They're not carrying Hamas flags. They're carrying Palestinian flags. And even if they were carrying Hamas flags, once again, that's their fucking freedom of speech. We let people fly fucking Nazi flags on the streets. Okay? Which I don't necessarily agree with, by the way. I think that should be fucking illegal, just so you know. Okay? But if we allow that, then I think that I think that it should be illegal to fly a Hamas flag. If you're going to allow the swastika, you can allow the Hamas flag. You have to be consistent. But the overwhelming majority of the time, it's fucking Palestinian flags. Obviously, you're going to get some, like, people who actually support Hamas, whatever. But again, it's protest, it's freedom of speech. And ultimately, if they didn't want Hamas to be a problem, maybe fucking Israel shouldn't have invaded Palestine in the first place. They're the ones who created Hamas and funded them, mind you, okay? So you want to talk shit about Hamas, why don't you, let's do it right now. Why don't we take a look at Israel funding Hamas? Let's see what happens. Israel support for Hamas. The Israel support for Hamas refers to the direct involvement by Israeli authorities from different periods in the rise and empowerment of Palestinian militant group Hamas. Since Israel's victory in the Six-Day War in 1967, Israel has occupied the Palestinian territories, including the West Bank. The occupation has been controversial, with Israel accused of violating international law, as well as committing human rights abuses and apartheid against Palestinians. The Israeli government has also actively promoted the creation and growth of Israeli settlements in Palestine. The Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, an umbrella group representing several of the most prominent Palestinian nationalist movements in the second half of the 20th century, has also been accused of a number of human rights violations and of waging a terrorist campaign against Israelis. Formed in the early 1960s, it became the dominant Palestinian movement throughout the second half of the 20th century. Hamas is a newer Palestinian nationalist movement formed as an offshoot of the Muslim Brotherhood in the late 1980s and is politically oriented towards conservative Islamism. Also accused of human rights violation and terrorism. Okay, so where does it say about their funding? Here we go. Former Israeli officials have openly acknowledged Israel's role in providing funding and assistance to Yassin's network as a means of undermining the secular left-wing Palestinian factions that made up the PLO. There you go. So if you hate fucking Hamas so much, you should also hate Israel, because they're the ones who funded their asses and made them so goddamn proliferant, as opposed to the other leftist groups, okay, who were like actual activist groups and trying to just fucking provide a better life for their people, okay? There you go. Israel created Hamas. So I'm sorry, I don't have any, it sucks that Hamas is killing people. That's wrong and bad and whatever, but I just don't have that much sympathy for the fucking Fox News heads who say that like Hamas is this giant problem because they're supporting Israel. The people who funded them and made them. How stupid can you be, man? Yeah, Hamas is a problem. Guess who made them? Anyway, I think this has gone long enough. I'm not a super expert on the subject, but free my mans. Mahmoud Khalil did nothing wrong that I can see. He was practicing his free speech, and this will come back and bite all of us in the ass if we don't do something about it right now. They weren't originally a violent group, they were a humanitarian one. Hey, what's up? I don't know. You got anything in mind?
No.
How hungry are you? Okay. Okay. I will be no. It's fine. It's fine. You caught me at the perfect time. I just ended a segment, guys. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom and discuss dinner with my wife.
inside. That's our only way to find it. So let's go.
Okay, I'm back. We ordered some Chinese. I know I'm on a diet, but I don't care tonight. I weighed myself this morning. I was 258 pounds, which is 1 pound heavier than I was last week. And what the fuck, man? Do you know how much I did not eat last week? Like, that's insane. So I'm just kind of pissed about it, so whatever, I'm getting Chinese. I need some food anyway. I think I've been going a little bit too hard on the dieting. You guys want to know something funny that I'm not going to make a segment about, but I think is really funny? One sec. You swore, bro? Thank you. That sucks, Ember. 700 calories? That's crazy. Here we go. So you guys know InfoWars, right? Remember that? The reporter, Jamie White, was murdered. Now, personally, I think this is a deep state conspiracy, but who's to say? I think there were paid actors involved. The funny part to me is not that like somebody committed murder, because obviously murder's bad. But the funny part to me is that nobody's reporting on it. Nobody gives a shit. Like he died and everybody was like, oh no, anyway. And I also will not be reporting on it. All right, we'll do this one real quick. This will be a very short segment. Thank you very much, Balthazar. What I'd give for just one congressperson to use the supporting Israel is bad because it makes Jews look like monsters globally, because it pushes the notion that genocide is a core tenet of Judaism. Yeah, no shit. Like it's like that's the real anti-Semitism, right? It's just assuming that all Jews everywhere support Zionism, which is a horrific colonialist endeavor. Thank you very much for the $10. I really appreciate you. I guess they had reporters. Yeah, Ember. Okay. So as I said in an earlier segment, it is important to give the Democrats their due when they do something good, even if it's the bare fucking minimum. So let's do that real quick. So we have from Aaron Reed, aka Aaron in the Morning, whose Substack, if you do not follow, you should, because I do. She puts out great content. If you're a trans person or interested in trans rights, such as myself, it is very, she's the best source of news you can possibly get on this shit. Like, she is constantly at work, nonstop, nose to the grindstone, just getting at it. Aaron Reed is a fucking saint when it comes, like, she is a trans icon, okay? For real. So this happened a while ago. Republican introduces Representative Sarah McBride, who is a trans woman, as the gentleman from Delaware. Let's take a look. Oh,
the chair recognizes the gentleman from Delaware, Mr. McBride, for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. When I was elected, I promised to work with anyone who would help Delaware and Delaware.
So we have no acknowledgement from it, about it from Sarah McBride or her peers over here. Very unfortunate. Sarah McBride herself has kind of capitulated to this framing a bit. She was very spineless. Let's just, to put it bluntly, she was kind of spineless about it. It sucks because she's a trans politician in a very red and fascist era of politics. It's, I would really hope. Listen, I'm not trans, but like, trans people are going to look at her and be like, come on, like, this is bullshit. Like, you need to stand up for yourself, right? It's spineless. So anyway, Aaron in the Morning came out with this article. It's called Have You No Decency? Republican calls Sarah McBride Mr. Dems erupt and end hearing. Wow! The Dems actually did something. Nothing ever happens, bros seething. During a meeting of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, a Republican Representative Keith Self, called transgender Congresswoman the gentleman from Delaware. Dems, but they did last time.